Welcome to the award-winning Texas Toast Podcast, your podcast home for all things Texas country. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best in Texas country. Big cheers and a big Texas toast. Welcome back to Hayden Baker. Hello, Hayden. We're here to talk about this fabulous album called Alive and Well. Congratulations. Job well done on that one. It is just every song as it played through. I remember the night, it was released and it came out and I started listening through it. And it's just one of those that, from my point of view and knowing you like I know you, I'm just so absolutely proud of you. And then as a fan of of country music, it's like you gave it to us on this one. So tell me your thoughts going into this album and getting everything coming together.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. I'm super proud of this record and everybody involved in it. This is kind of the album that I think I've been building towards since I started going to Nashville 4 years ago and writing songs and collecting them. This is the one where it was like we hit a point where out of a couple of hundred, I really thought I had 10 that showcased every side of me as an artist like I wanted to. And I was so excited to get in the studio and work on these. And it was pretty easy picking these songs too. It was like, I know I'm cutting Letting You Go. I know I'm gonna do I Can't Fix Everything. I had like all of them. It was like I have to record that one. That one's great. That one's great. And then we'd line them all up, and it was exactly what I wanted. And I think it embodies my artistry perfectly right now. So I'm glad everybody's liking it too. It's really awesome to see all the responses.
Yes, and so you've already kind of got out the gate with I Can't Fix Everything, which is awesome. It's out to Texas Country Radio. I've got it spinning on Texas Toast Radio. And I also saw you saw a video. You did a little video for that one that was
Yeah.
awesome. So that's a good one. So you went ahead and picked that one to go first to radio.
I did. Yeah, it feels really it's commercial. It's got a lot of energy to it. In fact, my soon-to-be father-in-law is one of the big reasons why I recorded that. We wrote it. Me and Justin Dukes and Chancey Neal wrote it one morning in Nashville, and I thought it was great, but I didn't know it was as good as it is. It took me a while, and I played it acoustically at one of our shows at Buck's backyard a while back, and my soon-to-be father-in-law was there, and he goes, "Man, what was that song in the acoustic break that you played?" I was like, "I Can't Fix Everything." He goes, "Dude, that one perked me up. That one's got some juice to it." I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, you need to record that one." I was like, "Okay." And then yeah, when we recorded in the studio, I was just like, "Oh man, this thing's got some juice to it." And so I always knew that that was going to be the one when the record came out. We'd push and be the focus track, and the video turned out great. That was at my church in Katy, Texas, with my worship. The worship leader there, Wes Edmondson, is a great friend of mine. And he filmed it and directed the video and stuff. It turned out perfect.
It is. It's amazing. Wow, that's good to know. And so
Yeah.
moving on down some more of the tracks to talk about. This one I found myself just singing along to as I started listening to it over and over. What part of No Don't I Understand? Oh, that
Yeah.
two-letter word. I love that song. Good job on that one.
Thank you. I love that one too. That was me and Ethan Phillips and S.J. McDonald. Ethan's the guy I stay with in Nashville. And we've become great friends. And S.J. is a super talented female artist as well. And yeah, I think Ethan had that idea of twisting it around. What part of No Don't I Understand? Being real self-deprecating and stuff. And that one kind of just flowed out, talking about, golfing when you're not supposed to and that kind of thing. So that one's really fun to play live.
Oh yes, I imagine so. I
Yeah.
imagine so. And then house into a home, home into a house. I've
Yeah.
tried to. Yeah. Now tell me the back. There has to be a backstory on that song.
There sure is actually. I wrote that with Robert Arthur, who has been a longtime collaborator of Brad Paisley. They wrote. I think Robert has a cut on like every album of Brad's, if not, most of them. So like I'll Take You Back, the one that I recorded on my first album or second album as a cover. Robert was a writer on that. And I emailed Robert after I recorded that, and that's how we kind of became friends. And we've been working together here and there over the past few years. And I went down to his house to write, and we started writing. It was a different title of song, or no, I'm sorry. we started writing Home into a House as like a really slow, sad thing. Like if I had an acoustic guitar here, I would, or I do, I guess, but I'd mess it up. It was like real slow and sad, like pretty pictures on the wall, scented candles down the hall, like a George Jones ballad. And we wrote the whole first verse that way. And Robert stopped and said, dude, don't shoot me on this here, but you could totally turn this into a shuffle and like it is. And he played that lick, the and I was like, sold. Turn it into a shuffle. Turn it into a shuffle. Let's go. And then we wrote the whole song like that in like an hour. So started out as a ballad, and then it worked as an up tempo shuffle too.
And then let's move on to "We Should Do This More." There's parts of that song with your voice that just takes me away. That is just a I called it kind of like ooh la la song. It was like that was my
Yeah.
reaction when I first heard it. Gorgeous.
I love that song. That was We Should Do This More Often. That was me and Gloria Anderson wrote that song together over at BMI in Austin. We had never written together, and I had the idea coming in. That's the theme of the songs on this record is all of them, for the most part, took very little time to write. They were fell out of the sky songs, and more often was is no exception there. We wrote that in like an hour and a half, and it's so difficult to write songs like that. That the time period changes. Like there's a time jump. I've always found those pretty difficult to write, and I really felt like we wrote that one perfectly, and I love it. I love it to death.
Yes. And then I think one that was relatable to a lot of people that have been stuck in that situation where you just kind of are on your own already. So I'm just going to let you go now. Just letting go.
Mhm.
That was another good one.
So I'll give you. I don't think I've said this publicly, but it's going to get out at some point. Um, I wrote that with Jacob Boyd, who lives over in Belleville, and he's a Texas boy, and just I mean he's a fantastic songwriter, just incredible. Um, Him and I got together at Ronnie's, the publishing company in Nashville, a while back. I think it was last spring, and we've written together. We're friends. We've known each other for a while, and we're sitting down in Ronnie's office, and he goes, "Are you still signed here?" He asked me if I was still signed at Ronnie's publishing company, and I said no. And I kind of gave him the Spark Note version of the story of how like I only spent a year there. And this is what I said. This is not what Ronnie told me, but I was just like, shortening the version or whatever you want to call it. I said, yeah, Ronnie called me when I was in Oklahoma, and he said, hey, I just called to let you know I'm letting you go. And I stopped, and we looked at each other, and I was like, should we write that? And he was like, I got nothing better. And letting you go fell out of the sky in like an hour. And he had the guitar part and like the melody, and it was perfect. And then Roger Springer heard it. Jacob was signed to his publishing company, and he was like, boys, this thing it's a smash, but there's a couple of things I think could be tweaked. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to jump in on it. So we let Roger in on it, and he made a couple changes, and it just that song's the best I've gotten. The funny thing too is Ronnie loves it. He's texted me like 3 or 4 times, like, "This is the best thing you've written. Your voice is incredible on it."
Uh,
He's sending it to record labels and stuff. So it's funny how that song came to be. It was me telling the story of how I lost the pub deal with Ronnie, and then it turned into this song that has nothing to do with that, but it's
Whoa,
just wild.
Hayden, that's a story. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we get into kind of get into some stuff with washing whiskey glasses, and that can go so many ways. So you listen to that song. Excellent, excellent. That's some
Thank you.
country right there.
Thank you. That was my fiance when I went to Nashville that trip. She texted me on the plane. She goes, "I want you to write me something this week that just hits me in the heart." And Monday morning, Jacob and I and Luke Levinson wrote that song, and I was like, "Here it is. This one hurts." So,
Oh my gosh. And by the way, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. I meant to tell you that when we first got on. We'll talk about that
thank you.
before we get out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just picture like with the lyrics and I wasn't gonna drink. It's like I just can picture the whole thing as I'm listening to you
Mhm.
sing that song.
Thank you. Yeah, that was actually David Lewis and I wrote that together
Uh-huh.
a while back, and it's so funny. because David and I were guitar pickers and all that kind of stuff. Every time we sit down to write, we're like, dude, we need to write a picking song. And we never do. We write, like, he had Strangers Again on his album that we wrote together, ballad. And then this one on my album, I Wasn't Gonna Drink Tonight, another ballad. But I love that song too. It's real simple with the lyrics, but it's to the point from the get-go.
It's
It's like we've all said that. I wasn't gonna drink tonight, and here I am. So
very,
I'm super proud of that one too.
very, very to the point. And then you kind of lighten it up. I had a headache once and I let her go.
That's right. That is right. I mean, if there was ever a Brad Paisley coded song in one of my projects, it's that one. That was Ethan Phillips, my buddy from Nashville, and Carson Peters, who's another talented young picker and fiddle player actually out of Nashville. They were writing that song, and I got to Ethan's house, and in the middle of them, and kind of crashed the write, and I was like, "What are y'all doing?" They're like, "Man, we're stuck." And I was like, "What song are you writing?" And Ethan had told me that idea he had before, that I had a headache once, so I left her. And so they graciously let me jump in and mess the song up even more. And it's just that's the kookiest, craziest thing. Like even the guitar parts and the all the hits and stops, it perfectly matches the weirdness of the lyric. So I'm proud of that one too. That's a funny
Yes,
song.
they're all so good. And I think the song that you end the whole album with, Country Ain't Going Nowhere.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I mean, starting off with the first verse with the grandpa and the overall, that's my pawpaw, the overalls and the straw hat and the country guy, and then the kid shredding. I don't know who that was going on YouTube. I think that's maybe you, Hayden.
As a little,
A little
little
based on you a
personal
little bit.
experience there. For sure. I love that idea. That was my buddy Tom Perkins that I've been writing with for a long time. Tom and I were on At Least I'm Here and Midnight Drive and those songs together. Um, and it was Ethan, I think, on that one too, right? I got the record right here. Let me make sure I get this right. No, it was Jacob. It was Tom and Jacob Boyd and I. And Tom had the idea of Country Ain't Going Nowhere. And it was at first, I think it was just like not country music, but the country lifestyle. And he had the grandpa thing about selling his land and
Yes.
middle finger in the air. And then I was like, man, it'd be cool if we flipped it to country music, and then we started talking about like a young kid picking on, you know, Vince Gill stuff or Ricky Skaggs in his bedroom and posting on YouTube. And it's like country music is in good hands too, because there's so many guys
Yes.
like me and David and Zach Top and all these guys that are carrying the torch for traditional country. I was like, I'd love to write a verse about that. I think that'd be super cool. And then when we got to the chorus and it goes double time and it picks up, and
Yes.
it's like you can hear its heart beating in the honky tonks, neath the boots on a hardwood floor. Like I feel like that's so true. And then you do the whole, straw hat and overalls buying grain from a general store. It's like this America
That's
runs on the country
that's it.
lifestyle. And
That's
it ain't
it.
going anywhere. And
Gotta
then
get so
you gotta wrap the album up with a ripping guitar solo.
and
So we
you
did
and
that
you
too.
did absolutely right there. That's it's like an anthem song. I loved that one. And another question I have regarding the album is so the title of it, Alive and Well.
Mhm. Yeah. So, well, it's funny you say that. I was going to say this too. The album was originally going to be titled Country Ain't Going Nowhere. I was going to call it that. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I like that as a song title. I don't know if I like it as an album title, but I love the sentiment. And so I went with the strategy that I've used in the past with Against the Grain and Born in the Wrong Generation of pulling a lyric, a line from a song and making that the album title. And that's where Alive and Well came from. It's the chorus of Country Going Nowhere. It's living and breathing alive and well from every rodeo to county fair. I'll tell you one thing, buddy, country ain't going nowhere. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I should call it either living and breathing or alive and well, talking about because this season of country music that we're in, it's like it is alive and well. Um,
Absolutely.
and it also appeals to me. I think I'm in a, I'm 28. I'm engaged, and like a lot of things are kind of fun right now and going our way. It feels like, and so it's like I'm alive and well and enjoying what we're doing and cruising right along and that kind of thing. And so it fits that too. And it kind of there could be a little bit of sarcasm like in the title of the album because of a lot of the subject matter of the songs, like letting you go and I wasn't going to drink tonight and washing whiskey glasses, all these sad songs and slow songs. It's kind of there's some irony I guess there.
Mhm.
It's like I'm here, I'm alive and well, at least I'm here kind of thing. I think the title of the record's got layers to it, and I think it might, mean something different to everybody.
Yes, yes. Well, alive and well and doing great. You're doing so many great things. Let's talk a little bit about that article that came out in Guitar World magazine. I know you had to be so proud of that.
That was incredible, and we didn't even know that was going to happen. So I'm working with the PR team out of Nashville, Milestone Collective, and they didn't know about it. Like it just whoever at Guitar World wrote that article just did it on their own accord, which is incredible. They watched the podcast that I did with my buddy Zach Kuhn up in Nashville, that was a great interview, and he's a guitar picker too. So we were just nerding out on stuff, and they must have watched it and just I can't believe it. Like I saw who showed it to me first. My guitar tech texted it to me and said, "Dude, did you see Guitar World magazine just did this?" And I was
Whoa.
I was like, "What?" Read it and I was like, "That's incredible." So I mean, that's like getting on People or Us Weekly for guitar players. I still can't believe that happened.
Well, you're our favorite guitar player, and let's talk about that. So I want to go back to May and the industry awards, the Texas Country Music Association Industry Awards, and you got Guitarist of the Year.
Yeah, that's blowing my mind. So it's up there on the shelf.
Yeah, and so let
That's
me
such an
tell
honor.
you, yeah, so I accepted it
Yeah,
for
you
you.
went on stage for me. That's
I
right.
know, and how that happened, it was so I'm glad that I know you so well and I interviewed you so many times because you deserved it. You were so deserving of that award. You got my vote in my
Thank
nomination too.
thank
But
you.
the thing is, it's like I was standing there, I was so excited, I was clapping, I was like, "Yay, Hayden." And so it was like Linda Wilson with TCMA said, she said, you kind of know Hayden. Why don't you run up and accept that for Hayden? I'm like
Oh,
right now. I mean, like it was so quick. So as I'm running through the audience, trying to get up there, trying to get to Zach before he moved on to something else, I was thinking, do I talk about the baseball song? Do I talk about Brad Paisley? Do I talk about Oh, and then it hit me. Practice Hayden. It was the Ronnie Dunn story when
the
you were a
Ronnie Dunn
kid, and the
story.
picture that was the picture that y'all used with the publishing deal. But it was like it just hit me. It was like, okay, that's what we're gonna say, and then talk. It's easy to. You're just such a great guy anyway. But
I
man, that
appreciate
it
that.
happened so quick. But I was happy that I was there and that I was able to be able to kind of represent and accept it for you. So congratulations
Yeah,
on that.
I'm honored that you did it for me. That was incredible, and I love seeing that. That was great.
Yeah, it happened so fast, just like that. And so, speaking of awards, TCMA awards are coming up in November. I'm excited. Well, you have a finalist there for country album for Barely Getting By, guitarist.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Well deserved. And what I'm looking forward to was also in May is when I found out about you and Scotty Alexander going to perform. Okay,
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be cool.
waiting. I'm so ready for that. I'm excited.
We've got something fun teed up. It's gonna be a blast.
hmm
Yeah,
So
it's gonna
yeah,
be cool.
looking forward to that. And your upcoming nuptials, have y'all set a date? Are you in the wedding planning stage? How's that going?
We are, yeah. We're cruising right along. It's October 3rd of next year.
Okay.
We'll be getting married over here on Lake Conroe at Iron Manor. And so we're super excited for that. And we're it's going to be a musician's wedding. I got David Lewis is playing the reception with his band. I think Scotty's going to come play some acoustic or something maybe, and then
Yeah.
my buddy Ethan out of Nashville is going to play the ceremony acoustic. He's the best acoustic guitar player I've ever heard. And then we're all going to get up and jam at the reception. So it's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on that. I know it's going to be a
Thank
beautiful wedding and it just seems like over the last I guess 4 years or so just watching you grow up, graduate from college, now you're engaged, you put this album out, all the things you've done with your career. You work
you.
so hard and you just you make us all happy with the music that you put out. That's all I can say. I mean, it makes
Well,
me happy when I hear your music.
that's that's wonderful. I love hearing that because I love making it, and we take it very seriously, as you know. Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
very intentional with every single thing that goes into a record, and I love making them. And I'm happy that I feel like they keep getting better each time, and I hope that continues.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see what you come up with after this, after we have a run with this Alive and Well album. So you're out on the road. How are some shows going? What do you have coming up
Going great. Yeah, we're let's see. We were just in Amarillo and San Angelo last weekend. We're going to be in Bandera this Thursday at 11th Street for the Hunters Weekend Festival. November is a little quiet. I'll be doing some private stuff, and then we have the big one in November. Will be with Aaron Watson at Green Hall on Black
Oh,
Friday.
what date is that?
It's the day after Thanksgiving, November, whatever that Friday is. Let me see.
Okay.
Let
So
me
it's
see.
on, oh, it's the day at the Friday, Black Friday. Okay. I see what
Yeah,
you're
the
saying.
20th to 28th, November 28th. We'll be at the hall with Aaron, so I'm excited to see those boys again.
That is going to
Um,
be a great show.
yeah, I'm excited for that. And then we've got a few things in December, acoustic right now. We'll probably have some private parties trickle in and stuff, but kind of taking it easy towards the end of the year. And then January, we're kicking it back up into high gear. We've got the Humble Rodeo. We're playing cook-off. We're back at Do in the Woodlands in January, which I'm excited for. I love playing there. And there's some more stuff that we've got in the pipeline that can't announce quite yet, but it's some exciting stuff that
I
once
know
it
you,
comes out.
yes, yes. You
So
always
yeah,
have something. That's what's exciting. That's what makes it exciting to watch you is because it's continually something. You're always, yeah, accomplish your accomplishments and what you're doing.
never satisfied. Always looking for something more. You know.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I got to stop sometimes. Family gets on to me. I'm like, but I just can't. I have to keep going. When you have that
Gotta
passion
have
and that drive,
gotta have something to look forward to. That's right.
yeah. And the way I look at it, it's like, I'm going to do it while I can. Cause I got knocked down last year, as you know. And it's like, when I got knocked down, once I got back up, there's no stopping me anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great visit. It's been great catching up. And, I'm trying to think, I'm sure I've left some things out. I hope I haven't.
I think we hit it all, man. I think it's
Think
just
we
go.
got this. Think we got this.
Y'all go get this record.
I love the album cover too. It's so Hayden Baker.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, that was at Do. Me and my guitar player went over there and just snapped a few pics, and I was like, oh, that's it.
yeah,
That's
yeah. And that's another thing I was going to tell you, especially in the video. I love your band. I love the guys that play with you.
me too. That's one of the biggest blessings is those guys have stuck with me for 5 years now,
Right.
and that's hard to find when you're not super uber successful and can pay your band a ton of money. So I'm so thankful for them for sticking with me. It's translated into a very, very good live show that we get a lot of compliments on for a 4-piece. And when my record has steel and fiddle and piano and mandolin and all these instruments that I just can't afford yet in a band setting, we want to. It's a challenge for the 4 of us to make the show sound really full, and I think we do a really good job of that. Those guys
Mhm.
are fantastic. They're wonderful.
That's for sure. Well, looking forward to all that's to come with you. Since as we're winding down the year now, enjoy your Thanksgiving and your Christmas, and especially the Green Hall show with Aaron Watson. That's going to really make a fun Thanksgiving, make it special. And
Absolutely.
yeah, speaking of Christmas, I just visited with Trent, and we talked about that year we did we did that Christmas special at the table when we
Oh
were there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That was
That
a
was
lot
a
of
hoot.
fun. Yeah.
Old Cali.
Yeah, good times, good times. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much, Hayden, for coming on the podcast and discussing this amazing album. Congratulations again on it.
Thank you for having me as always. It's crazy. We've been talking on this for 4 years now, 5 years.
Yes,
So y'all have seen from the ground up what we've been
I
doing. So
have.
it's
I have.
it's
I
always a
have.
blessing to get to chat with
Yeah,
you.
and it's like Hayden had me at the baseball song.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
still that's still a special one.
I remember the first time you came on the podcast. I think I had even looked up your baseball stats because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
such a
right.
baseball person anyway. I got to know the stats.
That's right. You were ripping off my batting average and stuff like that the first time. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be good.
Give me some baseball, give me some good music and fishing, and I'm all good to go. So
All you need.
anyway, well, again, it's been a joy. Thank you so much, Hayden.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Texas Toast Podcast. And now, big news. If you're a lover of Texas country red dirt music, you can now go listen to our station, Texas Toast Radio. Log on to texastoastradio.com to hear a mix of all your Texas country favorites.